Welcome to the Speak with People podcast, where we believe that healthy communication is the key to unlocking your leadership potential. We are the go-to resource for leaders looking to greatly improve their communication skills, whether it's one-on-one interactions, team settings, public speaking, or digital communication. By improving these skills, leaders can create stronger connections and drive positive change within their organizations. Each and every episode, we sit down with experts from various fields from around the world, just like you're grabbing a coffee with them, to dive into real, practical conversations. Our goal is to help you transform your communication skills so you can lead more effectively, build stronger relationships, and make a lasting impact. So go grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's learn together. Well, have you ever stood in front of an audience, felt your heart racing, your palms sweating, and wish you could vanish within thin air? Maybe you've got a presentation coming up and you're really excited about doing it because you love the opportunity, but getting everything together, the nerves, the trying to calm yourself, is just having a hard time to get in control. Well, you are not alone. And so today on this episode, we're going to dive into this topic more in detail because this is something that could drastically change your personal and professional life if you figure out how to overcome stage fright and speak with confidence that you've always dreamed about. Well, today I am honored to have our first guest from Dubai, calling from the other side of the world. I love technology as we're able to do this. Tanea is an incredible communications coach. She's an expert who specializes in transforming anxiety into confidence. She empowers people to authentically connect and to communicate powerfully. I've loved reading your website. I have learned a ton from following you. Thank you so much for being on the Speak with People podcast.
Thank you, Jason, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait to tell you everything.
I love it. We were just talking off air for a
Yeah.
second. You've lived in a few countries. How many is a few? How many have you lived in?
Well, really lived in three. I
Okay.
originally come from Portugal. Then I moved to France following a dream. And here I am following love,
Oh.
always following something.
Wow. Well, it is a dream at some point of mine to visit Dubai just because it's just I'm so fascinated with the growth, with the buildings, with the architecture. It's the technology. Is it an incredible place to live compared to France and Portugal? Where does it rank for you?
Well, it's very different, but I'm loving the experience. I've been here for a year and a half, more or less. And honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be so open, so welcoming.
Hmm.
Everybody here is so welcoming. It's, in fact, the buildings, everything, but the people are still people. And
Wow.
that's so cool. I find here that although they are a little bit dazzled, I'd say, by technology,
Yes.
also, like everybody else. But there's still a connection side that I absolutely adore here.
Wow, I love it. Just out of pure personal curiosity, have you made it to the top of any of your, the extremely tall skyscrapers in Dubai?
Well, I went to the 237th, I think, of Burj Al Sheikh. Ay, 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 I don't remember the name. Wait, Burj Khalifa.
Yes.
Oh my God, this needs to come out. I need to remember the name of Burj Khalifa. So you were asking about the if I was there before. Yes, I got to the 237th floor of Burj Khalifa. And the view is amazing, but you know what? It's so amazing to look at it from down up. It's really
Wow.
I get kind of something in my stomach just looking up. When you're there, honestly, it's cool, but it's like being in an airplane. It's not that impressive, but looking from down up, it's amazing.
Wow. Well, tell us a little bit more about your journey, your story. What's got you to this place where you now help leaders, communicate?
Well, in 1992, yes, my story starts there. This story starts there. My parents took me to Disneyland Paris. It had just opened. I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, the moment I got in there, I said, this is where I want to live. The smells, the music, the fact that there was this beautiful castle just there waiting for me to get in. Oh, wow. But in 1992, going to Paris from Portugal to work or to live or whatever, it felt so impossible as, I don't know, as being an astronaut.
Mm.
So I continued my life. I started doing theater, studying theater, then studied communication design. I went to school as a teacher too. Then I was an MC. I started by in events, then advertising. I did it all. But that thing that you still have in the back of your head years and years and years later, I needed to do it. Disney was now or never. So I did a book. I created a book, a pop up book like the ones for the kids. I put my story, my professional and my personal story, and I sent it. I didn't know who to send it nor anything, but I did it and I waited. A lot of ups and downs, a very long story, but I got an email, the best email of many, many, many years of emails. It said two sentences: can we speak to you? We want to know more about you. And it
Wow.
was from Disneyland Paris.
Wow.
So, long story short, I got they talked to me. I got the job. I did some shows. Then I went to the park and took some pictures. Then I went to events again. And then COVID hit. While we were almost all of us were sitting down doing nothing, I got an invitation, a crazy invitation that I wasn't expecting, to one of the only departments in Disney that was still working. It was the contact center, and they needed someone for their internal communications department because everything was kind of messy. And so they invited me to head it. And that thing that you don't think that gonna happen. I didn't even think that all of this would go this way, but well, I like roller coasters, so here I am, another adventure. And I started doing that, and I had the most amazing time. I discovered that this communication thing, helping people
Mhm.
get to other places, getting some voice. At a point, I was doing after COVID, when we reopened, I was welcoming cast members, crew members, Imagineers, everybody, doing 2 keynotes a week, just telling stories from Disney and learning how to do magic. So I was with my little Tinkerbell, and we were enjoying so much. But then, when, my husband followed me to Paris and he took a job here in Dubai. I was 2 years coming, going, coming, and going because doing that was so, so fulfilling. But then I decided, well, it's another way to create magic. I don't need to be at Disney. So here I am in communication, and I opened my first communication business the 31st of January.
Wow.
Here you go.
Wow. What a
Long
what an amazing
story,
story. I
but
love it. Oh, that's wonderful. We're in Florida in the United States, and we live about an hour from Disney World over here. And
aha.
so yeah, so not too far from the magic that happens. Have many friends who work there, and love it. Just an incredible organization. I couldn't help you're talking about standing at the bottom of this giant skyscraper and kind of feeling the some of the feelings that we get in our stomach. A lot of our listeners, they get that same type of feeling when their boss says, "Hey, I need you to stand up and give a report on what you've been working on," or it's time to do the sales pitch. So, what are some of you think, some of the biggest misconceptions people have about overcoming some of that stage fright? I think sometimes they talk themselves into, "I'll always be nervous. I'll never get over it." What are some of those misconceptions?
Well, one of the misconceptions I hear the most is that everybody thinks that they're the only one because everybody looks like, oh, she does it so well, he does it so well, they do it so well. It's only me. And it's not true. I
Mm,
love a stand-up bit of Seinfeld where he's analyzing, he's speaking about a survey or something, a study that they got to the conclusion that the number one fear of Americans was public speaking, and the second one was death. So I'm gonna say it by heart, so I'm not sure about the words, but he's getting to the conclusion that if any one of us would be had to be at a funeral, he would prefer to be at the casket than doing the eulogy.
right.
And I love that because everybody feels that it's not something that you feel it. And there's another thing that I love that it's everybody thinks that it's better to don't have any nervousness.
Oh, right.
But I love this. I'm excited to be here with you today. I need to feel these butterflies here that are giving me grit, that are giving me this excitement, this vibrance in my voice. How would I get it if not with a little bit of butterflies in my stomach?
Right.
I
Right.
think these are the two biggest misconceptions. Well, and also, let me add just many people think that it's a talent you're born with and it's a skill you can work on.
Right.
So here I am to help everybody. And it's so cool. After a few trainings, a few sessions, you see the difference in someone, the way they speak, the way they look, the way they behave. It's such a different, and it's so cool. So absolutely cool.
Oh, I love that. So you spent some years at Disneyland speaking in front of people and training and walking them through that. What was it like for you in the beginning? Did you have the same kind of nervous excitement? Did you have to overcome it yourself? Did you look forward to it? What was your journey with it?
Oh, I was the first time that I did the keynote I was talking you about is I was like leaning on the pulpit like this, and the my trainer at the time, he was like being a fly on the wall there just to see how it went, how it began.
Yep.
And I was so nervous just to be because of him being there and because it's being the first time and everything. But you know what? The thing that I found out is that I really loved it.
Hmm.
So I had to enjoy it. It's one of the first things that I say to everybody is this is going to be so fun.
I love that. I love that. Uh, your clients that come to you, what's the majority of them trying to work through? Is it the stage fright? Is it more confidence? Is it learning how to build the presentation? What component of it do you find is the biggest struggle?
Well, since I'm here, I've been having the 3 or 4 cases. It's well, I've done teams, so usually it's more something for the creativity and learning to speak. It's a little bit everybody is technological now, but not everybody has this communication skill. So it's kind of the getting out of their shell and working on that, on creativity. But mostly my one-on-one trainings are, since I moved here, I had a confidence one, was absolutely about that, about just speaking up. It's someone who works at a big company and just got a promotion and wanted to present themselves in a way and wanted to be seen in a
Mm,
certain way too, because has a new function, and so needed to build all that confidence, that self confidence. But there are some people, for example, I'm doing now a training with someone who's just into storytelling because she's opening a new coaching business, life coaching or executive coaching. And so she really needs to build her stories and how to tell them at the right place, how to get a structure, how to be more at ease in the delivery, but also in the content, in what should get in, what should. Concision is very difficult for me too. And everybody struggles a little bit about that, because when we're passionate and we have this curse of knowledge, we want to say everything, we want to do show everything, get people's lives better because we have the tools. So here they are, get them all. And it doesn't work like that.
oh,
So I had
absolutely.
a little bit of everything.
Do you find, especially for leaders, people who they would like to, maybe oversee staff in their company, maybe they'd like to have more responsibility. Do you see that the ability to speak in public, the ability to put together a clear and captivating presentation helps grow their leadership? I know for some of our listeners, they struggle with they want to achieve more things, but it's this roadblock of public speaking, and sometimes they've got to get over that roadblock. What do you see for that?
Well, for me, of course, I think communication, and nowadays it's one of the most important things in a leader, because that's how you rally the troops.
Mm,
That's how you can convince people, or even sometimes it's not even convincing them for your vision. It's if you gather enough information, and that comes a little bit of vulnerability. Leaders, a good leader who has confidence in themselves, shows vulnerability and asks for feedback, asks for what's wrong, what do you want to do, because sometimes there's like an interception of things that me as a leader I want to change, and maybe these people who work there, they want to change, kind of not exactly the same, but like here there's some kind of interception, and if we start with that interception, for example, it's so much easier to change and to rally the troops and to do stuff. I really believe that someone who's open, for example, the fact that you just get on come in, get on stage or in a room, and you show that confidence, either your employees, a client, whomever who's interacting with you, they trust you. They
mm,
think you're knowledgeable. They know you're going to do, you're competent. All of that. It's kind of unfair because there are people who are all of this and worthy of trust and worthy of everything. But if they don't show, they're losing something. I always, of course, think of Tony Stark when I think of leaders and confidence, and maybe he goes a little bit overboard with the smugness. But I love to show some videos of him, for example, the way he gets into a room and he's smiling, he's open, he pauses, he speaks quietly, he's all there. You, even if you know that you know the story, so you can't really quite trust him if you're a lady, but you're gonna trust him because he looks all that. And I
mm.
think confidence, looking confident, and sometimes it's just coming from the outside and it gets inside. It's a thing of practice. So confidence.
I love that.
everywhere.
I love that. That's great. So many leaders, yes, you're so right on. They struggle with confidence. What are maybe some steps our listeners can take every day to just build some of that internal confidence? So yes, they don't come across as the smug, arrogant type of confidence, but the humble kind of confidence that is there to interact with other people and connect with them.
Well, it was the first thing that I learned, even as an actress, an MC, everything. The first thing that we need to learn is breathe,
Mm,
because breathing, it's kind of magical. It's a magical thing. If you're doing it right, you're passing on an image of your voice won't tremble, your confidence. Just by your voice, you can get confident. Then again, smile. Anyone who goes on stage or to a meeting, to a presentation, and he's smiling, and it kind of, it's the same way as the breath. It's something that we say to the brain. By doing this, by being relaxed, by being smiley, our brain believes that there's nothing to fear, so we get calm. It's kind of from the outside, from the inside, but it works both ways. But if you really want to go, for example, something that I use a lot, and I'm always telling people to do, is as simple as reframing.
mm.
When you're nervous, uh, what do you feel, for example, if you want to go on stage? What do those little leaders feel? I hear a lot sweaty palms. I hear a lot getting a little bit red, shaking voice, everything. When else do you have this kind of things in your body happening? If I tell you, you won the lottery, if I tell you something really good, you're going to start, your heart will start racing. You're going to say, I'm just thinking of it, I'm getting goosebumps. All of this is the same for both reactions. So why not reframe it? And well, I'm so excited to be doing this. I'm going to nail
Wow.
it. Oh, this is just for me to get more and more and be able to give more to my audience, to this guys in this meeting. They're going to be so convinced. It's just a matter of, well, like the mind influences the body influences the mind, and
Wow.
here we are.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely. So incredibly true. We talk ourselves out of something before we've even agreed to it. It's just amazing how many times that happens. And so that reframe and the power of a smile. I mean, it's just, I watch and people will ask me, "Hey, can you give me some critique on my speaking?" That's fine. I love to help and those kind of things. But sometimes even watching somebody film a video, there's never a smile. They're looking at the camera. Like even just that simple step that we take for granted. It's amazing how much more you're just drawn in to people when they smile. It's just incredible.
Exactly.
Boy, I love
Exactly.
that.
That's something with the teeth. I don't know. That if you see them, they're not going to bite you. I don't know exactly know what it is, but it works.
I, lo- uh, I'm curious from my business is in the leadership and training development and those kind of things. When you worked for Disney, did they have a pretty robust training and development? So you as an employee, did they have lots of training for you available? Did you have to go through a consistent amount or not so much?
Yes, we had to go through a lot, but curiously, it's more about how to keep the magic in.
Hmm.
Yes, how to not overshare stuff from backstage, how to those kinds of stuff. Not enough for me. Communication trainings, really communication trainings, because when you're on stage, I worked with lots of cast members, and while I was doing pictures, for example, you really need to be able to interact. And if you want to create a magical world, you're going to have to do it. And if someone's working at a shop, if someone's working at the restaurant, if someone's working at that, the only thing that they have is that first training that I was doing, that first keynote. It was almost a day, but we all know that people get like 10% of 100 that we say. They keep it in their mind, only 10%. So it should be something that they should do more often, honestly. But the good thing is that everybody helps each other there. So
Mm.
whenever I know a little bit more of this, I'm going to share it and teach it to someone. And that's how you grow, also. I learned a
Wow.
lot at Disney and with my this invitation that I was kind of, wow, am I going to do this? I then too I got some butterflies in my stomach. Is it true that everything that I did is going to converge to this and it's going to help me have fun and enjoy and help others? It was amazing to discover, yes. But I had a lot of help from everybody around. Even good questions, just getting good questions and doing good questions is an advance and get you places.
Oh,
It's
I love that.
wonderful.
I love that. Do you, as you're working with your clients and they're getting ready to speak, do you subscribe to or have any thoughts around having some preset ritual as a communicator? So before you speak, you do a breathing exercise, or before you speak, you stretch, or you do a voice exercise, or go over your notes. Are there any of those type of, you know, I use the word ritual, but habits or practices that you coach, your clients through, before they actually speak?
Yes, I do. Because I think that if you get into the moment already, if you get to the point where you're happy, you need to, that, for me, that's the thing. That's, I'm going to share this. I need to be at my best. I need to do whatever gets me at my best. And so, what I do usually with my clients, first, for example, for confidence, I try to come to see where it comes from. And
Mm.
then I give them loads of tips of things that they can try out. And hopefully, in the end, everybody gets two or three things that they do before going on stage. For me, for example, it's the smiling and the breathing before. When I was an MC, for my first time MCing in, oh my God, many years ago, yeah, I was on a stage. It was from a performer here in Portugal. The name of the stage was Carlos Paredes, which he was a Portuguese guitarist, and they always put before I came in the one of the his musics. And so, for me, the part of physical relaxation was dancing that music.
Mm.
For example, it got me so relaxed. It got me in the mood, and then I breath, I smile, and I get in. And that's how I learned to do it. So I always tell my clients to find something, those two or three things. And there are many things. For example, I had a woman who struggled with, uh, she felt she was not confident, a little bit of testosterone. That's what she needed. So every time she was going to a presentation or something, I told her, just get the eye of the tiger in your ears before getting in.
Yep. Well,
Power
it's
pose a little bit if you're in need of a little bit of courage. Go for it. Power pose. Just 2 minutes. I saw a TED talk and then I went around and I tried to get all the information. Just 2 minutes of power posing changes everything.
Mm.
If it's something that you really want to connect, and you're going to put yourself out there, and you want to be a little bit vulnerable or something, just go over your phone and watch. For me, it's my kids, my nieces and nephews pictures, and I remember, oh, we did this, it's so cool, it was so cute, and I get in that place where I'm ready to share and to connect and to do all of that. So everybody, for me, needs, for example, I'm not a native speaker. I had the French in my head for many years too. So for me, tongue twisters, it's very important because I am moving my mouth and everything for the new language. It's very important. So always with my clients, I try to get to those two or three things that they should do because that's what they struggle with, and then we create kind of a ritual. But there are people who start in the morning. I had a client who said, no, whenever I'm going on a presentation from now on, after knowing this ritual thing, I'm going to tell my husband to get the kid and take her out to the school, everything, because she stresses me a lot in the morning, so I don't want to deal with that. But it's good that we get, each person has their things, because what's going to work for me, it's not going to work for you. And we get there, and we get two or three things for everybody to prepare.
Oh, I love that. You touched on something earlier when people are on stage and they're trying to be dynamic, they're trying to bring things alive, and you think when you're on stage, if I smile, everybody notices it. But the reality is when you're on stage, uh, uh, if you really want to come alive, you've got to practice bringing yourself into it. Even how you just showed us a minute ago with the power pose and the smiling. Like when you're on stage, you have to go so much further than when you're face to face. What are some of those activities or practices that we can learn to make our emotions come alive more, project our voice, make sure our body's confident on stage? What are some of those, do you think?
Well, one of the things that we've spoken, I touched it and you too, it's practice. Because without practice, we get nowhere. I've always read that, for example, there was this basketball player, I don't remember his name, but he said, they pay me to train because playing I do for free. And it's kind of that, you need to do the thing, and then when you get there, it's natural. So I'd say, for example, if you have a big presentation, you need to read it out loud, not to read a script in your presentation, but you need to speak it with a friend, with someone, and they're going to tell you, if they're your friends, they're going to tell you, I didn't understand this, or could you speak a little bit louder there, or I think you're very afraid of this. Someone who, for example, who's training and he's sitting down, he never get to see how he reacts if there's a pulpit, or if there's chairs, or if the audience can be here or can be just down there. And you need to be prepared for all of that. You need to see how you react to that. Film yourself doing that and then watch it. I know it's very awkward to watch oneself doing stuff. Me too. I don't like to watch myself, even when I was doing theater and everything. I got so cringy of myself. But that's the only way that we're going to see what we're doing right. Because if you're doing something right, some things right, everybody's doing always some things right. If you're doing some things right, hold on to those, do more of that.
Yep.
But you need to know where they are. So try out, practice, film yourself, watch it. And I always tell my clients to watch it 3 moments.
Mm.
One, just looking at no sound.
Oof.
Only the sound, and then again everything together, because you get things, different things in each of the times you watch it, hear it, let's call it watch it. And you're gonna, well, some people then say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, da, 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 da. 10 things. No, go for one, go for two, and work on that, and try it out with people too. Put your team in front of you and show them what you got. Or your kids. There's no one as sincere as kids. If they're bored, if they're excited, if they're like, oh, he's doing this that I don't like, he's making me nervous, you're gonna see it even if they don't say it. So
Yeah.
audiences, try it out. Trying things up, it's the best thing to learn and get better at whatever.
Oh, I love that. Such amazing practical advice. As we kind of round the corner on the conversation, we always ask our guests some rapid fire questions. We're building this online communication library. Our listeners know if you go to speakwithpeople.com/skills library, you can access it, and it's just filled with different ideas, maybe new resources for you. So maybe this is a little unfair to ask you, but do you have a favorite speaker? Somebody that every time you hear this person, oh, they just fill your cup, they check all the boxes, you cannot wait to recommend them.
I've been watching your list. Yes, I've been listening to the podcast and I've learned a lot with all your guests. Everybody has a lot to say, and so well, it's amazing. So I'm going to go with someone that I didn't find, at least there. Maybe it's not that easy to find online, but I was fortunate to watch her many times. I'd go with Catherine Powell. She
Mm.
was the president of Disneyland Paris while I was there, and she's an absolute legend. The speaking about confidence, she's so comfortable doing whatever she does. She can be on a huge stage filled with people and reporters and everything, or she could be in the parks speaking to the cast members, speaking to guests, and she
Mm.
was always as comfortable as. And I have a little story on the anniversary of the celebration of the treaty who created Disneyland Paris. They invited everybody. There was even the French president Francois Hollande, the European Union representative, a lot of people. And she was dressed in blue, beautiful, sitting down on the audience like everybody else. But she's the first one, of course, to go on stage. And someone calls Catherine Powell, president of Disneyland Paris. And she gets up, she starts to go to the stage. There's like 3 or 4 steps. She starts climbing it, and somehow her shoes got caught in her skirt, and she fell like head down, face down.
Oh,
This would ruin the confidence of any of us mere mortals, yes,
right.
but not Catherine. She got like a breath. She got a smile on her face. She took out her shoes, got on stage with the shoes in her hand, got to the pulpit, and started speaking.
Wow.
She never lost her smile. She
Wow.
even got a joke in. She was supposed to have her speech in English, but she said, "Well, things started like this, so it's going to get better, I'm sure." And that's
Wow.
how she introduced her speaking in French in her speech. She's still today, everybody says that she's our Cinderella
Mm.
because shoes. You can't find that online because Disney hid it. But in Getty Images, you still have the image of her with the shoes. And if you go and search for it, the smile, she doesn't look worried at all.
Wow.
We all want to be Catherine Powell when
I
we
lo-
grow up.
what a great, wow, what a powerful story. Um, is for you as a leader, if you're a listener of podcasts, not everybody is, but if you do listen to podcasts, is there a guilty pleasure or a development podcast that you just love, you highly recommend?
Well, if you have Portuguese listeners, I love Portuguese podcasts, comedy podcasts, but as mostly you won't have, I'm sure, I will go with Think Fast, Talk Smart from Matt Abrahams. I'm sure you know it because it's absolutely amazing. I didn't start in the beginning, so I'm still catching up on first episode and second episode, and he's an inspiration for me ever since I started this communication journey. He told me, he shows everybody that you don't need to be serious and introspect to
Yep.
be well considered and a good professional in this communication thing.
Yep.
His talks are always so fun and engaging and such an inspiration. So
He's
that's the
amazing.
podcast I would go for.
It's a great one. And then you run into a friend. They're about to head off to a desert island. They can only bring one book with them. What's the one book you recommend? You've got to read this book.
Oh, darn. I had three of them.
Well, you can give all
But
three.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have Creativity Inc. from
Mm.
Ed Catmull. They're all Disney related. It's amazing. It's like a trip to Pixar's creation. And it has so many leadership stories, so many creativity stories. I was in awe, and it's a huge, huge book. And I read it like in a week because I read it like, I want to read everything. I want to know everything. The second one is from Bob Iger, The Ride of a Lifetime.
Mm.
It's lessons of leadership from his 15 years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. And it showed me that even maybe not so big fan of Disney in the beginning can become a great, great leader for a huge company. And the third one, because I just started it and I'm so excited about the book, a friend of mine told me, you need to write a book with your communication tips and this and that. And I was like, oh, maybe not. But after seeing this, if a business book can be as fun as this, I'm going to write it. It's from Duncan Wardle. He was head of innovation at Disney, and it's called The Imagination Emporium.
Mm.
It's like a recipe book for creativity, on how to create creativity in your teams, in your brainstorms, in your life. It's absolutely amazing. So if you go to a desert island, if you take all three, you're done for the rest of things. You can reread and everything. So you're going to be amazed for many time,
And
much time.
especially those three, you probably will build a theme park on the desert island.
There you go. Well, it depends on how desert is the
Well, true.
island.
Well, this has been so incredible. I mean, I've interviewed lots of people. You come out through the screen. I hope our listeners will watch this on YouTube because you have given us a master class in communication. Just the things that you've taught us. So grateful. Thank you so much. I cannot wait for our
Oh,
listeners
thank you.
to do this. Where's the best place to send our listeners to find you online, your resources?
Well, I have my website that you saw. It's kind of difficult to spell, to just go with the name, but it's taneatavares.com, which is TANEATAVARES.com. But I'm sure that on the podcast they'll see my name, read my name, and they're gonna get to me. I always post a lot on LinkedIn, and I'm currently doing in my Instagram a challenge of 100 days, 100 stories, because one of my
Ah.
clients told me, "Oh, but my life is so dull. I don't have any stories. I don't know what to do. There's nothing interesting in my life." And I told her, "No, I'm going to do it with you, and you're going to see that in 100 days you can have 100 good stories to tell." So
Wow.
I'm on day 70 something, almost.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And I know it's getting late there where you are. And I hope you have
Yeah.
a, a wonderful evening. And I cannot wait for this to air. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Jason. See you.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Speak with People podcast. It means the world to us when you share this episode. Thanks for liking, subscribing, or following the podcast. That really does help the podcast get into more ears and into more leaders listening. Also, don't forget, we have 2 exciting resources for you. The first is go to Facebook and join the speakers group. This is a community designed for leaders who want to grow their communication skills. Also, go to speakwithpeople.com/skills library to access the Communication Skills Library. It is an online resource chock filled with resources that will inspire you and transform you and grow your communication skills. Thanks again for being a part of the listening community. We cannot wait for the next episode.